The following message is transmitted at the request by the San Francisco Police Department. Several attacks from unknown creatures at the Golden Gate National Recreation Area have been received. At 7:32 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, dozens of people at the area were reported to be brutally attacked or killed by a large unidentified type of creature. The first known case was reported near Hawk Hill at Kinzelman Road, and that this was captured via security cameras. The identity of this creature is unknown at this time. All residents within a 5-mile radius of the Golden Gate National Recreation Area are strongly advised to stay away from the area. Do not enter on any unpaved or trail roads until this investigation conducted by the San Francisco Police Department and the National Park Service is complete. If you notice any suspicious activity or any of these hostile creatures in your area, dial 911 immediately. Do not try and fight any of this creature, as you may be putting your life in serious danger.
The civil authorities have issued a civil danger warning for the city of San Francisco. At 8:01 p.m., a large number of hostile creatures were reported to be appearing throughout the Golden Gate National Recreation Area and are rushing towards the city of San Francisco, attacking and killing any civilian and motorists they see. It is identified as a large gray-skinned wolf, about 9 feet tall, weighing over 250 pounds, and they have razor-sharp claws and teeth, along with huge red scars and glowing fiery red eyes. They were last seen on approach towards the Golden Gate Bridge traveling at over 55 miles per hour, and it is expected to reach the city by the next 15 minutes. All residents in the city of San Francisco are urged to shelter in place immediately. If you are out on the road, and you are within 5 minutes of your destination, complete your journey. Otherwise, seek shelter in a nearby building or an underground structure if possible. If you have a life-threatening emergency, dial 911. Make sure you have enough emergency supplies for your duration of your stay. Please stay tuned to this station or other media and internet outlets for more information and updates.
The following message is transmitted at the request by the Oakland Police Department and the California Office of Emergency Management. The city of Oakland is currently under attack by large hostile creatures originating from the city of Alameda. These wolves are identified as a large wolf with gray skin, 9 feet tall, weighing 350 to 400 pounds, has razor-sharp claws and teeth, immense strength, and has huge red bloodied scars and glowing red fiery eyes. They also appear to show some resistance to conventional weaponry. All residents are strongly urged to evacuate the city immediately. Evacuate as far away from the city as possible. Take in emergency supplies worth at least 3 to 5 days, such as food, water, clothing, extra batteries, flashlights, and a battery-powered radio, along with extra money or personal documents. Do not remain in your current residence. Again, do not remain in your current residence or at your current location, as they have the capability to cause extensive damage, injuries, and loss of life. Evacuate and get away from the city as far away as possible, or head to an emergency shelter set up by local authorities or by FEMA. Stay tuned to this station for more information and updates and await further instructions. The following message is transmitted at the request by the San Francisco Police Department, the California Highway Patrol, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency. An immediate evacuation order is in effect for the city of San Francisco. At 8:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, a larger wave of large gray wolves were detected to be heading towards the city via the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge. This was followed by a sudden invasion of large giant wolves at the cities of Alameda and Oakland, which they suffered extensive damage and casualties from the attack. This is the most dangerous and life-threatening situation, and the California National Guard is now being called in to assist evacuation efforts of all civilians and to deal with this situation. Residents in the city of San Francisco and nearby areas are ordered to evacuate the area immediately. Bring food, water, clothing, medical supplies, extra batteries, flashlights, and a battery-powered or hand-crank-powered radio. Use one vehicle per family. Tie a bright towel or cloth to a visible location of your house, such as a door or mailbox, to let authorities know that you have been evacuated. If you cannot evacuate the city on your own, dial 911, and local or military authorities will assist you. If you are evacuating by road, use evacuation routes designated by law enforcement authorities. Avoid taking long routes or shortcuts, unless if it's absolutely necessary. Do not remain in your shelters. Shelters are not safe. I repeat, shelters are not safe. These wolves have the capability to severely damage or destroy structures, and they can sense fear and negative emotions, and has immense strength. Residents are encouraged to evacuate in a calm and orderly manner. Do not panic, as this will most likely decrease your chances of survival. Evacuate now. I repeat, evacuate now. Please stay tuned to the station for further information and updates. Immediate evacuation order by the California Highway Patrol, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency. These large gray wolves were detected to be roaming around the streets in the city of Los Angeles, and are causing extensive property damage and civilian casualties. The first report of this attack was believed to be near Hawk Hill at Kinzelman Road in the Golden Gate National Recreation Area, and has since spread to other cities within the Bay Area, such as the following: San Francisco, Alameda, Oakland and Berkeley. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department and FEMA is strongly urging all residents to evacuate the city. These wolves are known to travel in hordes, travel in high rate of speed, and they have immense strength, and have shown to have the ability to sense any fear and negative emotions of their prey. Bring food, water, clothing, medical supplies, extra batteries, flashlight, and a battery-powered radio. Have enough of these supplies for 3 to 5 days. Before you evacuate, turn off gas, water, and electricity at your house. Tie a bright towel or cloth to a visible location at your house to let authorities know that you are evacuating. Use one vehicle per family. If you have more room in your vehicle, bring them with you if needed. If you are unable to evacuate, tie a black cloth over a visible spot or dial 911, and military authorities will help you. Do not stay in your homes, as these structures are not durable enough during the impending attack from the wolves. Take designated routes for evacuation. Stay calm and do not panic, as this will most likely decrease your chances of survival, and increases the risk of attracting more wolves to your current location. Please continue to monitor local news and internet sources for further information and updates.
Priority activation for the following counties/areas, in California: San Francisco Bay Area, Los Angeles County, Fresno County, Santa Clara County, San Mateo County, San Luis Obispo County, Ventura County, and Orange County. The following message is transmitted at the request by the Governor of California and the California Office of Emergency Management. Numerous gray-skinned wolves were reported to be appearing throughout these areas and are causing massive damage and casualties in these mentioned counties and areas. Reports have come in from the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Federal Bureau of Investigation that almost all of these attacks have originated from parks, recreational areas, wooded or forested areas, and areas with low population. A state of emergency has been declared for the state of California, as more attacks may occur throughout the state, or in other neighboring states within the next few hours. All residents in any of the affected counties must evacuate now. Shelters are now being set up across areas not affected by these attacks. A voluntary evacuation is issued to areas who are at risk for a potential wolves invasion. If you are not in one of these affected areas, please continue to monitor local news and internet sources for further information regarding this dangerous situation and prepare to evacuate if you must do so right now. The cause of the sudden appearance of these wolves are currently unknown, and it is under investigation by the FBI. The emergency alert system will continue to give you updates and information regarding this current situation.
Immediate evacuation for the following areas, all of the states of Nevada and California. The following message is transmitted at the request by the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Due to an ongoing invasion from a large wave of large gray-skinned wolves that have rampaged through several cities and causing extensive damage and civilian casualties, all residents who are residing in California and Nevada are advised to evacuate from any of the major cities or towns believed to be in a risk area for an invasion. Shelters are set up across these states for those unable to evacuate from these states. A voluntary evacuation order is also in effect for the following states: Oregon, Idaho, Utah, and Arizona. This is a mandatory evacuation order issued by the governors of California and Nevada in conjunction with the Federal Emergency Management Agency. If you stay at your current location, you will either be forcibly removed or face certain death by these wolves. If you are unable to evacuate, shelters are being set up across these mandatory evacuation-issued states and are located farther from any major cities under attack or at risk for a wolves invasion. Residents are urged to have an emergency supplies worth at least 3 to 7 days, such as food, water, clothing, medical supplies, extra batteries, flashlights, and a battery-powered or hand-crank-powered radio. Use one vehicle per family. If you have space in your vehicle, offer more people with you when you evacuate. Before you evacuate, tie a bright towel or cloth to a visible location of your house, such as a door or mailbox, to let authorities know that you are complying to mandatory evacuation procedures. If you have difficulties in evacuating on your own, dial 911 and military authorities will take you to emergency shelters. Use designated roadways and interstates selected by FEMA and local law enforcement. Do not try to take long way routes or shortcuts, as you may risk encountering a large wolf on the road. Information regarding the full information of evacuation routes and the location of emergency shelters can be found at fema.gov. Remain calm and do not panic, as this greatly decreases your chance of survival. Avoid making any negative emotions, as this will give away your location to the wolves. Please stay tuned to this station or other media outlets for further information and updates on this dangerous situation. Evacuate now. I repeat, evacuate now. The following message is transmitted at the request by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the United States government. This is not a test. The United States government have reported that a massive invasion of wolves is in progress in the United States. At 2:14 a.m. Central Standard Time, a massive herd of wolves are reported to be attacking civilians and causing massive damage across the western and midwestern United States, and reports have just received that these wolves are beginning to appear on the East Coast. The following states that have hit the hardest include the following: California, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Missouri, Alabama, Georgia, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut. Most major cities in these affected states have suffered extensive damage and massive civilian casualties caused by these wolves. In addition, unidentified reports from the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the CIA have claimed that these wolves have originated from dark portals, which was reported to have appeared in several locations across the western and midwestern states, and confirms that these portals are now appearing in several locations across the east coast of the United States, with the most number of portals believed to appear in the mountainous region of the Appalachian Mountains. These wolves stands out in different kinds of unknown species, but they are generally at 9 feet tall, their weight is over 350 to 400 pounds, and they have razor-sharp claws and teeth, along with huge red scars and glowing fiery red eyes. These wolves have gray-colored skin, but some species also have black or whiting colors. In addition to these wolves, they have the ability to spit out an unknown type of dark red liquid, which spawns several lesser, but more lethal, and dangerous wolverine beings, and they are capable of pounding and completely melting any person they see. These wolves travel between 55 to 65 miles per hour, and they have immense strength and perception, with their ability to sense any negative emotions from living beings, such as anger, guilt, sadness, apathy, annoyance, frustration, and fear. These creatures have the capability to cause extensive property damage, injuries, and loss of life. This is the most extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation and should be taken seriously. All residents in the continental United States hearing this message are instructed to do the following actions to ensure your survival, which will be broadcast in the next 10 seconds. Please stand by and wait for a set of instructions. Do not make any negative emotions if possible. Control any emotions and avoid making irrational or erratic behavior. Remain calm and do not panic. Panicking will not only decrease your chances of survival, but this also attracts these wolves to your current location. Some shelters may not be durable enough due to the wolves' immense strength. Therefore, all residents are urged to seek shelter in a more substantial or sturdy structure, or head to an underground or fallout shelter. Make sure you bring enough emergency supplies that can last for 5 to 7 days. These supplies include non-perishable food, water, extra clothing, first aid medical supplies, extra batteries, flashlights and a battery or hand crank-powered radio. If you are living in these affected states and you must evacuate, only do so in a safe and calm manner. Avoid spotting or trying to fight against one creature, as this may put your life in extreme danger. If you are living in any areas not affected by these wolves, please continue to monitor local radio or television broadcasts and be prepared to evacuate if this current situation warrants your need to do so immediately. The President of the United States is being moved to an undisclosed location and will be speaking to all American people in the next minute. Please stand by for the message from the President. This is the emergency action notification. All broadcast and cable stations shall transmit this emergency action notification message. This station has interrupted its regular programming at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air to provide news and information to the public in assigned areas. This is WCCO. This station will continue to serve the Minneapolis area. If you are not in this area, tune out of stations providing news and information for your local area. You are listening to the emergency alert system serving the Minneapolis area. Do not use the telephone. The telephone lines must be kept open for emergency use. The emergency alert system has been activated. This message is transmitted at the request by the Government of Canada. This is not a test. Stay tuned to this station for the following information.
Ce message est transmis à la demande du gouvernement du Canada. Ce n'est pas un test. Restez à l'écoute de cette station pour les informations suivantes.
Event type: civil danger for the following provinces: Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, and New Brunswick. Reports have been coming in from local authorities in these affected provinces that numerous dark portals have been appearing in random locations, mainly in wooded or forest areas, parks, wildlife refugee areas, or towns with very low population. These creatures are the same ones which have rampaged throughout the continental United States within the past 6 hours. These wolves stood out in different kinds of forms and species of unknown origin, but they usually stand about 9 feet tall, weighing over 350 to 400 pounds, and they have razor-sharp claws and teeth, along with huge red scars and glowing fiery red eyes. These wolves have gray-colored skin, while some are colored black or white. These wolves travel between 55 to 65 miles per hour, and they have immense strength and perception, with their ability to sense any negative emotions from living beings, such as anger, guilt, sadness, apathy, annoyance, frustration, and fear. In addition, these dangerous creatures have the ability to spit out an unknown thick dark red substance on the ground, which spawns several lesser-sized wolves, which was over a quarter of their size, but still capable of mauling any person they see. These large and small wolves are responsible for several hundreds of thousands of deaths, countless people injured, with extensive damage reported in these affected provinces. The Government of Canada is urging all residents hearing this message to do the following actions. Do not make noise. Do not make any negative emotions and try to control your emotions if possible. Avoid making any irrational or erratic behavior. Do not panic. Any one of these will not only decrease your chance of survival, but will also endanger yourself and others by attracting these wolves to your current location. Remain calm and seek a sturdy or underground shelter. Have emergency supplies that can last for 5 to 7 days for your stay, including food, water, clothing, medical supplies, and a battery-powered radio. If you wish to evacuate, you do so at your own risk. Do not try to fight the wolves by yourself, as they are resistant to any conventional weaponry. If you have a life-threatening emergency, dial 911. However, be advised that emergency services may not be available due to the severity of this situation. Stay in your shelter until the situation can be put under control.
This message is relayed from the National Information Center, at the request by the United States government. At this time, the entire continental United States is currently under siege by these large gray-skinned wolves, with Alaska and Hawaii mostly unaffected by these attacks, and are being designated as safe havens for those who are somehow able to evacuate from the wolves' grasp. In addition, it is learned that there are numerous dark portals appearing across the western and midwestern regions, especially the Appalachian mountain ranges across the east coast of the United States. Casualties continue to rise, as invasions in the Canadian provinces of Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, and New Brunswick are taking place. The Congress is currently debating on whether if they will seek the usage of nuclear weapons to end this crisis. At this time, no nuclear emergency is taking place, but all residents, if you can hear this message, the previous set of instructions apply. Do not make any negative emotions if possible. Avoid making irrational or erratic behavior. Remain calm and do not panic. Panicking will not only decrease your chances of survival, but this also attracts these wolves to your current location. Seek shelter in a substantial or sturdy structure, or head to an underground shelter. However, as a precautionary measure in the event of a nuclear attack, residents are advised to seek a fallout shelter, if possible. An extensive investigation is currently being conducted by the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security to track down the source of the appearances of these dark portals, which allowed these creatures to enter the planet of Earth and set off a sudden invasion in the United States. Please refer to this station or other media and internet sources for more information and updates, and await further instructions. This station will continue to serve the Rogers, Arkansas area. Please stand by. Please stand by. Please stand by. At 4:15 a.m. Central Standard Time on November 1st, 2026, reports of newer portals appearing in the U.S.-Mexico border and all across these states adjacent to the border have been received. Locations that were reporting newer portals include the following: Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Florida. Mexico is currently in danger, as they are now facing a newer wave of invading wolves, spawned from the portals right by the border. Regular invasion still continues across the continental United States, and throughout the majority of Canada. The Congress have now made a decision to launch nuclear sterilization strikes to major populated centers in a last-ditch attempt to avert a major global catastrophe. The missiles are being launched to these three countries, and it is expected to make a direct impact within the next 30 minutes to 1 and 2 hours. This is a nuclear emergency. A nuclear emergency is declared when a catastrophic event involving nuclear fission is occurring or imminent. Exact nuclear targets for the United States are unknown, but all residents in the United States are strongly urged to seek a fallout shelter immediately. Fallout is byproduct of nuclear explosions, and certain death occurs within minutes, if exposed for long periods of time. If no such shelter exists in your area, or if you are having difficulty in locating one due to an ongoing wolves invasion, seek an underground shelter or head to the centermost portion of your building, and place as many objects between yourself and the outside world. Turn off heat, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. Do not go outside until an all-clear siren is sounded. If no all-clear siren is sounded, wait for at least 14 days, or stay in your shelter until military comes to extract you. Do not panic. Remain calm. Do not make any negative emotions, as it is unknown whether if these nuclear strikes will eliminate all of these creatures. The emergency alert system will continue to broadcast new information and updates for as long as possible. Please stay tuned to this station, or refer to local radio or television stations or internet sources for the latest information and instructions. The following is an update regarding the previous emergency action notification message issued at 5:17 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The targets for these nuclear strikes have now been identified. These targets for nuclear sterilization strikes include San Francisco, California, Los Angeles, California, Fresno, California, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, Spokane, Washington, Boise, Idaho, Reno, Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada, Great Falls, Montana, Salt Lake City, Utah, Denver, Colorado, Albuquerque, New Mexico, El Paso, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Bismarck, North Dakota, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Kansas City, Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri, Chicago, Illinois, Nashville, Tennessee, Montgomery, Alabama, Atlanta, Georgia, Tampa, Florida, Charlotte, North Carolina, Spruce Pine, North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, Richmond, Virginia, Boston, Massachusetts, Baltimore, Maryland, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Trenton, New Jersey, New York City, New York, and Washington, D.C. All residents within a 400-mile radius in these mentioned cities are strongly urged to seek a fallout shelter now. Fallout is byproduct of nuclear explosions. Exposure to radiation for long periods of time may experience radiation sickness, followed by death. Fallout can spread for hundreds of miles within minutes after detonation. If no such shelter exists in your area, or if heavy presence of these wolves prevents you from getting to a fallout shelter, head underground or in the centermost portion of the building with few or no doors and windows. Place as many objects between you and the outside world. Turn off ventilation, heating, and air conditioning systems to prevent outside air from getting in. Stay where you are. Prepare for the 3 effects of nuclear explosions. Prepare for light, heat, and shockwave blast. Light can temporarily or permanently blind any persons if facing towards the blast. Heat can vaporize humans and buildings within a 20-mile radius of the blast zone. Shockwave blasts can cause partial or complete deafness to humans and can cause severe structural damage. Once you are in the shelter, do not go outside until an all-clear siren is sounded. If no all-clear siren is sounded, wait for at least 14 days. It is too late now to evacuate. Missiles are inbound and it is expected to impact any of these areas in less than 2 to 3 minutes. If you must evacuate, it is too late to do so. Brace for impact. Prepare now for light, heat, and shockwave blast. This station will now sign off the air after the alert. Tune to any of these stations on the AM band to continue receiving updates and information during this ongoing national emergency. This station will now cease transmission. This message is relayed from the National Information Center, at the request by the United States government. It is now discovered that the cause of these wolves to appear throughout the United States and around the North American continent is a sort of a dark magic being cast by an unknown sorcerer or magic user. Federal and intelligence authorities have last spotted an unknown red and black sorceress figure at the Caribou-Dargy National Forest near Yellowstone National Park and the Idaho-Wyoming state border. This figure can't be partially identified as a 5 to 5.5 feet tall, slender body built, her weight is unknown, has red eyes and black hair with glowing red tips, and she was last seen wearing an ill-length red and black dress with a maroon red cape, long black stockings, and she is seen carrying a wooden staff with an bright red glowing crystal on it. This person is extremely dangerous, and should not be approached or interacted. All residents in the United States are strongly urged to be vigilant of any sightings regarding this mysterious red and black sorceress figure. She is shown to have immunity to radiation, although she appeared to have suffered injuries by the nuclear blast. If you see her in your area, do not try and engage her in a fight by yourself, as you may be putting your life in extreme danger. Emergency and police services may not be available at this time, so all residents are urged to do whatever they can to survive, and to keep as much distance between her and yourself as much as possible. Fallout is still a threat to all civilians, and all residents are discouraged from leaving their current shelters until it is declared safe by the proper authorities, or a final clear siren is sounded. The large gray wolves are still present in some areas across the United States, however they are rapidly decreasing in numbers due to radiation sickness, but it is strongly advised not to engage them in a fight at this time. The previous set of instructions before the issuing of the emergency action notification at 3:16 a.m. on November 1, 2026, still apply. Do not make any negative emotions. Avoid making irrational or erratic behavior. Remain calm and do not panic. Panicking will not only decrease your chances of survival, but this also attracts these wolves to your current location. To repeat, do not make negative emotions, avoid making irrational or erratic behavior, remain calm and do not panic. Continue to monitor the station, or all other AM radio stations, to receive further updates and information. This is the following update regarding this ongoing national emergency since the issuing of the emergency action notification message on the early morning of November 1, 2026. At 7:01 a.m. Central Standard Time, it is now confirmed by the FBI that a mysterious sorceress, who is also confirmed to be responsible for causing massive losses of civilian life and for causing utter damage across the United States, Canada, and Mexico by casting dark portals to allow large gray wolves to invade the United States, was shot and killed after a lengthy fight between her and the coalition forces, consisting of soldiers from several countries. The kill was confirmed at 7:11 a.m. Central Standard Time, and her last position during a fatal shot is near Margaret Hunt Hill Bridge in Dallas, Texas. Military casualties are reported to be greatly high during the fight. While there are no more new portals appearing, be reminded that large gray-skinned wolves are still present in the area, but they are rapidly decreasing in numbers due to the effects of radiation, and the ongoing NATO-backed operation to clear any wolves in the affected North American continent. Fallout remains present throughout the United States and there is colossal damage throughout the contiguous United States, with Alaska and Hawaii unaffected by the nuclear sterilization strikes and the wolves, and are designated as safe havens for evacuees. The previous set of instructions still apply to all residents in the United States. Do not make any negative emotions. Avoid making irrational or erratic behavior. Remain calm and do not panic. Panicking will not only decrease your chances of survival, but this also attracts these wolves to your current location. To repeat, do not make negative emotions, avoid making irrational or erratic behavior, remain calm and do not panic. Do not leave your shelter until the fallout clears. Those who wanted to evacuate should do so at your own risk. This message will repeat in 30 minutes. The following message is transmitted at the request by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the United States government. The fallout from the nuclear sterilization strikes which took place on the early morning of November 1st has been cleared from the area. However, there is massive damage throughout the United States, with the exceptions of Alaska and Hawaii. Additionally, large gray wolves are still present, However, the population has rapidly decreased up to at least 500 to 950 wolves remaining, and continues to decrease as the ongoing operation to clear the wolves from much of the North American continent is taking place. Estimates of injuries and fatalities are unknown and their official tallies are still being counted. If your residence have been destroyed at this time, call 911 for military assistance. The National Guard and the Federal Emergency Management Agency will begin extracting any human survivors to emergency shelters set up in Alaska, Hawaii, and on other areas not affected by the invasion. At this time, the previous instructions still apply to avoid attracting any of these creatures and to further ensure your safety and survival. Do not make any negative emotions. Avoid making irrational or erratic behavior. Remain calm and do not panic. Panicking will not only decrease your chances of survival, but this also attracts these wolves to your current location. To repeat, do not make negative emotions, avoid making irrational or erratic behavior, remain calm and do not panic. The emergency action notification will remain in effect until all of the wolves have been eradicated from the face of the earth. Until then, please follow the instructions as mentioned in this alert. This message will repeat in 10 minutes. This message is transmitted at the request by the United States government. This is an all-clear message. The emergency action notification that was issued at 3:16 p.m. Central Standard Time on November 1st, 2026, has been lifted. The last remaining wolves which appeared from the dark portals generated by a red and black-dressed sorceress have been eliminated by the coalition forces. Although the threat of a possible global invasion has finally been averted, and that this international crisis is already dealt with, keep in mind that there is massive damage to the majority of the North American continent. The death toll is initially at over 102 million people, however, this is subject to change. The identity of the late sorceress, who was shot and killed by military forces in Dallas, will be revealed at a later date. Due to the severity of the invasion, it is feared that the majority of the North American continent might be deemed uninhabitable, but rebuilding efforts are currently underway, and this is expected to last for years or up to decades until residents can finally return to their homes. As for now, those who have evacuated must not return to your city of residence and remain where you are until it is safe to return by the proper authorities. Do not return to these areas you once resided to search for your loved ones, as this will slow their progress from federal authorities or you may risk putting your life in serious danger. This concludes all operations of the emergency alert system. Normal programming may now resume momentarily. The government would like to thank all citizens for your cooperation during this life-threatening event.